Right, hello guys, here we are again, Luton here. So, okay, when I saw the Kotaku article picking apart EA's marketing for a couple of tweets related to Battlefield 1, which were in arguably bad taste, making light of flame-throwing enemies and stabbing enemies, I noted it. And I raised an eyebrow, but I think I even retweeted it, and I said a couple of tweets about it and how stupid that was. But I didn't think it was worth anything much more than that. However, this morning, The Guardian seems to have deemed it worthy of a full article, and when I googled, seeing as I don't actually ever read Polygon as a website anymore, I thought, you know, they've probably given that a miss, right? So I looked Polygon, yeah, they seem to have not lowered themselves by covering such a trivial... No, only joking, of course they covered it, Any opportunity for Polygon to be outraged by something, of course they covered it. So let's get into this. The morality of war simulation games. Again, back before Battlefield 1 was released, a few games journos who lean more to the left than maybe a wilting piece of celery thought that raising the topic of Battlefield 1 as a war game being morally objectionable or even offensive to veterans and, you know, the wider public was a constructive and valuable concept. I made a video about it. I've linked it below. You can check it out. And just to mention an interesting side note for me that came out of this, despite spending basically the entire video talking about how there is no problem with the representation of war in games, a significant proportion of the comments on that video are people quite simply, to use scientific terminology, losing their shit because they read only the title of the video and then proceed in abusive rants aimed at me because they thought I was one of those people who objects to Battlefield 1 and what it represents. A good tip for general YouTube practice, actually watch the video before you comment and avoid making a total arse out of yourself. So let's get back to today. I know it's maybe a slow news day here and there, although I think I would argue that that's impossible given the current state of the world, even within gaming. These game journos, they've got to find something to talk about, and getting into the ethics and morality of war games, that seems like a pretty meaty subject, something that's worthy of a good article. Guardian, they definitely spun it out for what it was. I suppose in a way it is, but only in the sense that we would discuss at length about the reasons why morality and ethics, the concept of that in a war game is so completely invalid. You see, it comes back to that old chestnut, freedom of expression. Not freedom of speech. The amount of times people get those things confused, or when they mean one and say the other, it drives me to distraction. But still, in our society, you have the freedom to express your thoughts and opinions and represent them through art, literature, music, any of the creative disciplines. Games are a formation of multiple creative disciplines, and in games we represent the entirety of our imaginations and beyond. I'm always amused by the selective and often hypocritical outrage games media represents, especially in left-leaning sites like The Guardian and Polygon. Not surprised, mind you, but amused nonetheless. I mean, nothing surprises us anymore when people choose the soft targets though, does it? I wonder what journalistic masterworks we have lined up for us in Red Dead 2. Stereotyping, gender, all the usual fare. And please spare me, those of you in the comments who want to call it Red Dead 3. I have no time, okay. A historical game, Red Dead, which, as I recall, received its fair share of critique for, of course, the angle and treatment of women in the previous iteration and all these kind of things. Just that we've got that to come. That's going to be fun. But see, this is the point. The media want us to believe that we should apply fictional moral standards to a fictional game and narrative. Let's not forget as well that these people pretty much attack anything in sight, be it the flavour of the month, HBO, Netflix series, big budget movies, whatever, okay? We shouldn't be applying these oversensitive media standards. For one, it stifles creativity and expression. We're adult enough to be able to handle these concepts and make our own conclusions whether we like it or not, and then, enact whatever kind of consumer judgment we wish after that point, right? For two, it just makes no sense whatsoever. Games are fictional. They're an impression of reality. It's an alternate world inspired by our own. We don't need to start applying real-life ethics and morality to fictional works, just like we wouldn't to films or literature or art. It can be profound, it can be challenging, or it can be base and crass and minced up slop to be just fed to the troughs in the masses, okay? Doom lets you bathe in blood of hell. A game like Manhunt lets you play out your serial killer fantasies. And GTA lets you choose maybe not the white or the black hat, but maybe the black and the grey hat, okay? When it comes to war games, you can take them as seriously or as comedically as you wish. A couple of marketing tweets do not make a game. And even then, it's Twitter. Seriously, some jokes about it's too hot in the club or whatever, they're not about to melt our brains in 2016. You have to go quite a long way to shock and offend people now, I think, as some current climates demonstrate. And while we're saying that, and just because a joke is in poor taste, does not mean people are unable to differentiate between that and true history, nor does it mean we should restrict ourselves from having a small bit of humour. Marketing departments have a long and vibrant history of making poorly judged advertising decisions, and I for one love to revel in the awkward pain of poorly thought out copy or visual combinations. Don't stifle the bad marketing departments, revel in them. The sheer social awkwardness of someone thinking that they're being hilarious in an advert when actually everybody has just got their head in their hands and going, oh my god, did they just say that? These are things that brighten our days. And then I'll just say lastly, can we all just remember that we live in an age where people try supremely hard to be outraged by everything, none more so than the liberal media. Everything has to be a huge drama, and I guess I'm feeding into that in a small way, but honestly, you just have to wonder, as the apparent professional media of gaming, don't they have anything more constructive to talk about than a couple of deleted tweets that nobody even cared about in the first place? I think I do, so I'm going to go off and edit some more videos. I'll just leave you with a fantastic clip of Charlie Brooker, which I think summarises and just says it all. Thanks for watching, guys. Thoughts down below.
Ooh. All right.